Good morning, and thank you very much for joining us. I am Yori Folari. We got two subjects we're going to be touching on today. First, let's touch on the ADC presidential candidate, Dumebi Kachikwu. I believe we will be getting him from, it's a remote connection. But as you know, his party has sort of collapsed into the Labour Party organization, and they have said that they will be voting Labour. But Mr. Kachikwu has said there's no such thing. He is still the candidate, the presidential candidate of ADC. We have a chance to talk again. The station has spoken with him before, but a chance to talk with him again on, the situation. So, Mr. Kachikwu, good morning to you.
Hear me?
Oh, okay.
Hello, can you hear me?
Okay, yes, now I can hear you. I was thinking I might see you as well.
I don't know why I also can't see you. Let me try again.
No, but please just leave it. Let's just manage. Let's just manage, because I'm sure they're working on it. We should be able to see you, and you should be able to see me. So it's a work in progress, but we can't delay. Let's start off. It's a bit like radio, but for what it's worth, here we go. So give me your take again. As I was saying earlier, I know you've spoken with this program. We haven't had the opportunity. So for the next half an hour, we'll be talking about it and also taking calls that do come in. So when you say that you are still the presidential candidate of ADC, and meanwhile, a faction of your party, I understand led by the former chairman, has collapsed the party into the OB effort. Speak to me a bit about that, please.
Having me on your program this morning. Let me quickly say this. The former chairman, the rascal former chairman who with a few fringe members went on air to announce that they had collapsed a structure that they don't control. They only did that for the news effect. They control no real structure of our party. Our candidates are still in the race. I am still in the race. I find the respectful for him to have accepted that endorsement, knowing that I was in the race, smacks of disrespect.
Sorry, sir. He might have been thinking that, look, if it is the party, he must have believed in the authority that was speaking to him. Was there a way he would know that you yourself, as a member of that party, were not in agreement with what this party was saying to him? Do you think he had those channels?
I think Peter Obi is not an illiterate. He's a candidate. I am a candidate. I represent a party. He represents a party. I had members of a different party, the YPP to be precise, who approached me for something similar. And I said to them, I can't engage in such conversations with knowing that they have a candidate, that if there's going to be any alliance or endorsement, their candidate has got to speak to me. The same thing, members of my party approached for the same conversation. And he said to them, I know you have a presidential candidate. I can't engage in such conversations except with your candidate. So this is what I expect Peter Obi to have done. But what else do you expect from someone who goes around cultivating cultural and religious endorsements? I cannot believe he will come and do this, especially knowing that Ralph Mosu, the person he was dealing with, was no longer the chairman of the party. Yeah. Like I said to some people earlier on, the former president of Obasanjo had spoken to me about a possible alliance with Peter Obi, and I made very, very clear, and I still make this very clear, that were I to enter an alliance, it certainly will not be with Peter Obi. What does he represent? What does he stand for? This is a man who throughout this race has continued to deceive Nigerians about who he is and what he's selling to Nigerians. He offers no breath of fresh air to Nigerians. He just continues to mouth the slogan and the phrase from consumption to production. Produce what, where, and when.
Okay.
What does P2B actually stand for? So why should I endorse P2B? Okay, if you say that, if we're looking at the old brigade, he's there, Atiku is there, Tinubu is there, what makes him different from the three? Why should I endorse P2B? I find it insulting.
Okay, now, what effect do you think this will have on the chances of your party the way you know it? Because as you've just told us, you are still the candidate of ADC. But it's a bit confusing. Senator Patricia Akwashiki chair, I believe, of the Board of Trustees, has spoken up on the matter, saying that she's thoroughly disappointed and all of that. This is going to be confusing to the electorate, perhaps. So, hurt Nigeria.
Good question. Since I emerged as candidate of the party, unfortunately for me, the former chairman who engages in the practice of selling his candidates has engaged in this all-out battle to ensure that he damages my chances in the polls, all because he wanted to sell. I mean, if you were to see the picture of himself and P2B on the day they made their so-called endorsement, you see how miserable both of them looked. Does this affect my chances in the polls? Yes, it does, because people keep on seeing or hearing about ADC in the wrong channels, in the wrong way. Channels TV station who seem to have endorsed P2B because the way they went about carrying this news, knowing that the chairman was no longer the chairman, they are all selling a wrong narrative to the populace. My greatest worry is this, right? Obi, who happens to be running on a very regional or ethnic platform, I worry that Nigeria, the way Nigerians are today, that anything can spark violence in Nigeria. And I worry about people like that because of what they can do to the body politic. Nigerians are suffering today. Nigerians are seeking an out to air their frustrations. And we should not give these people a platform, especially an ethnic or religious platform, for them to vent their frustrations. That's why we cannot be propagating or seem to be endorsing people like P2B or the Labour Party. This is not the time for that in Nigeria.
You know, Mr. Kachikwu, that's a very grievous allegation because all political parties, as you know,
not a grievous allegation.
They do not want
what we know to be true. If you look at all the alliances and all the endorsements he's gotten, they are mostly cultural and religious endorsements. How do you do that in a multi-plural and multi-ethnic society? It's absolutely wrong. Not be cowed, not to say to hide what we know to be true. We need to speak up for Nigeria. Now, who's going to defend Nigeria? If Nigeria burns to the ground, what do we say to Nigerians? We need to stand against this. He's manipulating the emotions of angry Nigerians.
Yes.
We watched this 8 years ago, and that's what brought in Buhari, and we're about to make the same mistake again. We should speak against this. I will not be cowed. I'm not a coward. I have to speak against this.
Well,
there are a lot of people in this race running because they offer a breath of fresh ideas. Not people. You will never see P2B want to go on any debate to debate his views. He will never do that. He wants to hug a microphone all the time because he's got nothing to offer. Those are not grievous allegations. I'm simply speaking the truth.
All right, then.
I was on the forum yesterday with Aisha Yusufu yesterday.
Yes.
And at that forum at FRCN, she said their candidate is about capacity, integrity, and credibility. In that same forum, she seemed to endorse this whole CBN policy, even though the Supreme Court has ruled on that policy. And in that same forum, she said that Labour Party, they were providing buses for students across the country to get home and vote, as long as the students had PVCs and they were supporting the Labour Party. Is that not inducing voters?
Okay, tell you what, Mr. Kachikwu, I got to go on a break. I'll be right back. Please stay with us.